Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis, and starting with the scenarios, the new scenarios for this week. Of course, it has changed so much from the last week after the price action has hit several targets that we have already in our probabilities before. So we're gonna move a little bit and recap each possibility by possibility here, and starting by the bearish scenarios. From the bearish scenarios, of course, we are looking for an expanding or multiple 1-2s in the daily chart here. So as you can see, we can find here several 1-2s. However, this is the most lowest probabilities, because having several 1-2s or multiple 1-2s, more than 3, this reduce so much the possibility for a bearish scenario or for an impulse towards the downside. Having this also 1-2s has reached already, each one has touched the 886 from each wave 2, which also reduced very much the probabilities of multiple 1-2s and seeing really a wave 3 towards the downside. Now that's for this multiple 1-2s has just 20% of possibility. As another bearish scenario, we have the expanding diagonal as a wave 1 or 2, and by all means that this could be a possible 1-2 here after having an expanding diagonal, which is the most rare pattern that you might see in Elliott Wave on a chart. However, all the waves has reached the minimum target and the maximum target from the upper side, and that reduced as well the possibilities of this expanding diagonal to be working as a wave 1 and a 2, because you want to see a little bit much lower prices for this expanding diagonal, that it shows somehow a shape like a fan almost. So therefore it has some possibilities, of course, but it is of course still very low. This is the 40% possibility to happen. Now the last bearish scenario that we have talked about it in the deep analysis, and if you would like to see it again in more details, you can go to the last deep analysis video and check exactly the detailed scenario of this WXY sideways. And what we are talking about here is this one where we have a zigzag towards the downside. So we might see a wave C in a zigzag finishing WXY sideways. That means we are looking for here as a WXY towards the downside. And we have already finished a wave a W in a zigzag, hitting perfectly the 1-to-1 fib level and the time, exactly fib time for a zigzag. After that, we are looking to a running flat, finished running flat in X, and after that we want to see another zigzag towards the downside, finishing a double zigzag on both sides of a WXY connected with a running flat for a WXY. In that case, you still want to see, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finishing an impulse for an A for a zigzag, and then looking for a B, and then moving down again for a wave Y to finish this zigzag in WXY. The targets of this WXY can range, of course, between the 52,560 and the 44,800. The good thing is that the lowest price of a wave Y cannot reach the 0.618 of a wave 4. So in that case, the wave 4 cannot be invalidated even when finishing this double zigzag WXY. After this, we are looking then therefore for higher prices again for a wave 5 to move on with our 100K scenario. So those are the bearish scenarios, and the highest possibility of a bearish scenario could have a 50% finishing this zigzag towards the downside. Now, in the bullish scenarios on the opposite side, we can see higher possibilities that we can be much more bullish at the time, because of course of the rare possibilities here inside the bearish scenario. And of course we have only one scenario which is the most possible, which it has already 50%. And to see this happening, we need to see, of course, higher prices first, finishing this wave 5 first at the 886, for example, and then seeing 3 waves towards the upside and then an impulse towards the downside, finishing this zigzag. This is the only possibility that it opens for this scenario after seeing a wave 5, finishing this impulse and 3 waves towards the upside and starting a new impulse towards the downside. So let's move to the bullish scenarios. In the bullish scenarios, of course, we have still our 100K scenario still existing, and perfect. We have, of course, our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, looking for a wave 5 towards the 100K target, and we are looking already for a finished 1 and 2. This 2 has finished the last week on Friday, and it has started to range, of course, on the week and start to form kind of like a 1, 2, 1, 2. We're gonna see it, of course, much more closer inside the 15-minute chart later on. Now, this is your highest possibility because we are already in the weekly or in the daily even. We can see already like the formation of this impulse, and we are looking finally to finish this last wave of this pattern. Another bullish scenario that has been holding from the last week still is the wave C of a zigzag or a regular flat. Both have the 1-to-1 fib level target. As you can see here, we can finish in A, B, C on a higher amount of volume, and we are still looking for an A, B, C as a wave X. Of course, here you have your W, and you are still looking for a zigzag as a wave Y. In that case, you want to see, of course, a wave C touching your 1-to-1 fib level at 69,350. Whether it is a zigzag or a regular flat, this still has the same target as 1-to-1. And this one, of course, it has a 60% as possibility as a zigzag, because the wave B has went so deep. Normally a wave B in a zigzag want to finish almost in the 0.5 fib level and then goes higher for a wave 1 as a blitz shape, somehow like this. Now, the last bullish scenario is a wave C as diagonal shape in a expanding flat, of course, as well finishing a WXY sideways as well for the wave 4. Now, in that case scenario, you are looking to an ABC finished zigzag as well, and then you are looking for an A, B. B has a deeper prices than the start of the A, and then we are looking for a wave C towards the upside. Your only way that a wave C can unfold is a diagonal shape. In that case, you want to see here a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 hitting the fib levels for given here in this scenario for each diagonal wave. And of course, the diagonal waves is allowed even as a wave 2 to touch the 886 in case we got a much more lower prices for a wave 5 here. So this is still a very possible scenario, because also you can see in a contracting diagonal a 5, 5, 5, 5, 5 waves for each wave of this diagonal. Otherwise, it can also involve as 5, 3, 5, 3, and 5. That means each wave can, if it starts with 5, of course, we have to continue with 3, then with 5, then with 3, and then with 5. So this is the only way that the wave C can unfold, of course, as diagonal towards the upside. And of course, after that, you want to see a finished zigzag to finish the wave Y in W, X, and Y, finishing the wave 4, and then after this looking again for a wave 5 towards the upside, and exactly starting with its time as well as mentioned in the blue box. Looking at the 1 hour chart, we can see that this downtrend has already kind of finished with a very higher possibility that we are looking for higher prices. Now, we were looking finally for a finished 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5. Your wave 4 has touched exactly, the price has touched the 0.618 of a wave 4, invalidating this impulse towards the downside. Therefore, we have started, of course, during the weekend to see some range towards the upside, and we are potentially looking to a double 1-2 forming for an impulse, a double impulse towards the upside, as well as you can see in orange, finishing this wave 5 and also this wave 3 in green, and finally finishing it with final 4-5 towards the upside. After this, you want to see a continuation, of course, of lower prices a little bit, reaching a wave 2, and then moving higher again towards the upside. In all cases, in all bullish scenario cases, you want to see the same pattern forming towards the upside, of course. And here we go, you have all your target for your 3 bullish scenario. Your first bullish scenario is your flat of a wave C reaching the 68,500, taken from from the 0 here of the start of this flat towards A and B and a C. Your A should be, of course, taken here. Another scenario is that your wave C in an expanding flat with an orange label is exactly this expanding flat, starting here, A, B, and looking for a C in a diagonal shape, of course. So we are looking for still 3 waves toward the upside. Your final wave of the 100K scenario is your wave 3, of course, and your target is at 78,300. Of course, this cannot be made just in one impulse. We're gonna need, of course, after having here already a 1, we're gonna need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finishing a wave 3 exactly on that target here, and then looking for a wave 5 exactly there as a 4 and 5, of course, hitting at least the 94,178 at the 2.618 fib level for a wave 5. So given all these targets, of course, it should be much more clearer for you how to trade this, of course. Once we hit this fib level, of course, we want to take a TP1 here as usual. This is my best strategy for trading this, of course. This is your TP1. If we retrace and then we see an impulse again hitting this target again, so you want to take another trade here with 50% again hitting your target as TP2 again. The same thing repeats. If we break here, you enter even more trading to your initial trade, and then you hit the wave 3. Again, you want to do the same and the same and the same. This is the best way to make profits from in case that something has already reversed, you already took your profit. In case of reverse to the point of invalidation of an impulse, then you take your the last half of the profit with just 0.25 less than you should have. So this would be a perfect win-loss ratio if you want. Actually, there is no loss at all. The win ratio would be like from 1 to 1 or to 0.75 over 1. So that would be a perfect strategy to trade this. And this is it, guys. So your scenarios, I think, are very clear. In case, guys, we see lower prices on the 1 hour chart, in case we see lower prices than the wave 2 fib levels, right? Because we are looking for a 1, 2 here, 3, 4, 5. If we see lower prices than this fib level, therefore this 1, 2 double 1-2 has been invalidated, and we are looking definitely for something else. Now the good thing is that we have touched the 0.618, so lower prices than this lower low here is also lower possibilities. So this is it for a Bitcoin price prediction today. Please note that I will not be able today to follow up with some videos until, of course, after noon. So that means I'm gonna definitely do an intraday. However, this week I have some projects to work on. Of course, I have some side business as well, so I will be very busy. But however, please check the comments below in case there is some updates by my indicator. I'm gonna mention it in the comment and pin it in the top of this video. So keep an eye on it. Of course, I might give you some tips, of course, in the comments below of this video during the day. And after the day almost, I'm gonna make, of course, an intraday video to keep it up of what happened already. So thank you for watching, thank you for your support and for your comments and your likes, and see you in the next videos. Bye bye.